Okay, I have with me here Dr. Daniel Weiss, who's been presenting at the Friday Institute summer course today. And I wonder if you could just maybe summarize the kind of focus that you had in your presentation this morning.
Sure. Well, one thing I tried to look at was the conception of the person in Judaism, specifically in classical rabbinic literature, and looking at the embodied aspects of selfhood and personhood and cognition as well, and highlighting the ways in which contemporary science has pointed to experimental data showing the way in which the body and bodily states can have an effect on cognition. And in trying to theorize this, people have looked at the ways in which it stands in tension with certain inherited philosophical conceptions of body-soul dualism. And what I was trying to look at is whether both the biblical text, the Hebrew Bible, as well as their continuation in classical rabbinic Judaism, might be putting forth a conception of the human being that could correspond more to some of these observed scientific data about the role of the body in cognition. And so I looked at the ways in which the rabbinic text in particular put forth a notion of the person that highlight, while talking about body and soul as two separate terms, they seem to indicate that all human functions of both physical action as well as cognition and understanding and service and relation to God involve both the body and the soul in a dynamic union. And so when one's talking about the person, one can't talk about the mind in isolation or the body in isolation, but only in the way that they interact together.
Sure. And just one other question. I mean, in the West, the quote-unquote science versus religion debate tends to be dominated on the religious side by Christian perspectives. What do you think that Jewish perspectives on that kind of issue could bring that maybe don't come out typically in these kinds of conversations?
Right, no, it's a good question. I think in the present context, there might be some ways in which the Jewish streams of thought could be in similar conflict with, quote, religion and science and that type of conflict.
Yeah.
You might find similar things in some Jewish approaches to a conflict between religion and science as you find in the contemporary Christian approaches. But I think one thing that I try to bring out in my talk is that even if one can't talk about a Jewish contribution to new ways of approaching the science and religion debate, specifically there might be new classical rabbinic contributions that could be made to the debate. And I think that bringing in some of these classical rabbinic terms and concepts, even if they're not always found in later periods of Jewish thought, that these specific notions of embodied cognition in classical rabbinic literature, I think could very much reconfigure the supposed divide between science and religion.
Dr. Daniel Weiss, thank you very much.
Thank you.